Theater Harmontown is now in session. Please welcome to the stage the mayor of Harmontown, harmonious monk himself, Mr. Dan Harmon.
Now I never want to see you again.
That was nice. Did the Beatles give us some music?
Do you know who that is? Who is that? Oh, no, that's Titan. That's our friend Titanic Sinclair from
Fibble Dibbles.
From Frisbee Golf and the fuck around trio.
The hardcore Harmontown fans will remember. We'll remember the Titanic and Mars Visigoth. What's the Mars Argo?
Mars Visigoth. that was the really early stuff.
The lovely Mars Argo and Titanic were on our show when they released that song. That became an unintentional internet sensation because it used the iPhone's default ringtone as like a melody, and some people were just like, "I hope you die in fire." What's that? Adam Goldberg! Adam Goldberg's back.
Was that the earliest we've been Goldberged in the show?
Well, he wanted us to know. He wanted us to know. I'm back, baby. Adam, come on, get up here and give us a.
Adam Goldberg. Hello, brother. Whoa! Wait, thin ice Goldberg. Goldberg came up. He pressed the flesh. He did a little dance. It was really nice.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder, but no presence makes it grow unfond faster than.
Sounds like a Grinch sequel.
You do hear, Adam, the conflicted response of when we invite you up.
Oh, they love it.
I would call that right down the middle of happiness and sadness.
Sounds like where life lives.
Well, I'm happy. I missed you. I thought that you were. I assumed you had gone. You're a young man. People go through phases. Maybe you exited the phase of total masochism and sadism.
I was right. That middle line between happiness and sadness, as someone said. I don't.
Right.
Jeff? Was it Jeff? I'm thinking there's a J.
So what have you been up to?
Yeah, give us the Goldberg news. What's going down?
Business is good at my web company, Adam Goldberg's web company. I'm not going to bring shame onto that web company by associating myself with it, which is a self-hating thing to say. But it turns out, the Minecraft server that's dedicated to Harmontown?
Uh-huh.
They burned me alive.
What?
I was burned in effigy.
Oh.
So that's what happened to me. I was having a nice life. I was in a wrestling-based RPG. I was getting drunk for Passover. I was doing as one does. And then it turns out people burned a symbol of me alive to represent how much they want to play Minecraft with you, which is weird.
So they made, out of blocks, they made it.
Wooden Adam Goldberg to represent a guy from a podcast. Then they set me on virtual fire.
Did it resemble you? Did they make
I didn't go there. I don't think I'd be very welcome on a server that would burn a picture of me.
So how did you find out this information?
They posted it publicly, and I just... Not a lot of upvotes, and the weird thing is a lot of people didn't attend.
It's like
there was a huge thing to have a Goldberg roast, not like a fun comedic roast, which only happens when I throw one for myself.
Right, an actual Salem roast.
Yeah, an actual burn the representation of a guy who talks, and that's bad, so Jesus Christ. How you been, Dano?
I've been good.
I wouldn't know. Can't follow you on Twitter.
Did you see the just... I blocked you. I blocked Adam.
Not on Instagram, though.
While we're talking about ratios, that was just the aggressive side of passive.
That middle line between aggressive...
All right, well, let's see how tonight goes, and then, yeah.
All right.
I'm not...
Are you on the fence now?
I'm. Of course, I've been regretful since the day I blocked you. I knew I did it in anger.
I legitimately wanted to know what point you were making when you said, now that everyone's when millennials were 8 years old, they said everyone was going to be a millennial, and now that they've grown up, everyone's 8 years old. Do you feel like everyone's 8 years old, and what does that mean?
Well, for you, that's not what. That wasn't what I. We didn't say everyone. We said the children were the future or whatever.
Yeah.
When millennials were children, we said they were the future, and now that they're grown up, sure enough, we're all 8 years old. Get it?
No.
Because they're thumb-sucking, team-playing Superman fans.
As opposed to
awesome, sardonic, needlessly rebellious, aging Gen Xers. Who understand back pain and being outnumbered 10-1 by the generations before and after us. And who admire people who kill themselves instead of people who become president.
Yeah, that was weird. Justin was weird last week. That was a lot of was he going to
Justin will never ever. Justin would put a gun in his mouth and his ego would shoot it across the room.
His ego would just eat the bullet.
Yeah, the bullet would just get absorbed. And there would be
just turn the gun. He would do a bit with the gun having a silly voice, and that would be.
I don't want to lay down the gauntlet though. And if you are thinking about it, share those thoughts with people.
Tell other people, because you would be surprised how many people get to that point in your life where it's darker than it is light, and you're on the line between sadness and happiness, and you're not seeing.
Oh no!
I'm trying to be joyful about it and not be depressing, but it's
Adam.
Life gives you a whole lot of shit, and there are other people going through exactly what you've gone through who want to show you the better side of an existence. And if you say no to that existence, you're not going to see all the greatness that's going to unfurl for you.
But yes, but also you should.
Yeah, life. A scattered applause for the concept of life.
Let's enjoy a rare Adam Goldberg applause break.
That was very well said.
Wash over us.
Why is the guy I call shitty so shitty? Why is this? Oops, trying to cover that up.
Wow, you just stepped in your own applause break, man.
That was very well said, but as a guy who's researched this, because when I was responding to people on Tumblr, I started to worry, but I wanted to do it right and not wrong. I didn't want anything to blow back on me, talking to kids who are sometimes saying, like, I have these thoughts. So I did a lot of Googling, as a responsible person does, and the other thing that people should know who have these thoughts is that, I think the big mistake that people currently not having those thoughts make when counseling them is using logic to try to, like, no one wants to be argued out of these feelings. Like, they want to be able to share them without repercussion.
You can't think your way to clarity, because the brain is the brain. It takes all the processing power that you would use to make really logical arguments, and it's why even really
no one
smart
wants their
people
feelings to be invalidated. It just puts a wall between you, and there is no. This is going to sound like a bad quote out of context, but there's no logical reason not to kill yourself. Logic is not what's on the table.
It's not A plus B plus C equals. There are legitimate reasons to live. It's not something that's going to be intuited logically.
It's not so. Yeah, you're not waiting to hear someone say, "But you're so special. You're so
there
important."
it is. There it is. I'm special. I'm just gonna.
You feel a horrible gnawing pain, and it feels so bad that a lot of us can't relate to it, because it's if you just back into a level of pain that you would have to feel before you were thinking about not existing as an alternative to it. Now, those thoughts are they move through the species like a cloud, and individuals have to bear the burden of them, and those people need to find someone that they can trust and talk about them. So there you go. Okay, so yes, life is wonderful, and you'll have so many children, and you'll be so happy. But also, don't not kill yourself for that reason.
Yeah.
Don't wait for that epiphany. It's a wonderful life. It's a shitty life. But also, just talk about it.
You'll like this one. In the Muppets continuity, Kermit the Frog caused 9/11. There's a movie about where Kermit the Frog sees what his life would have been like if he was never born, and he goes to New York, and the World Trade Center is standing. And the movie came out in 2002. So, by their logic, if Kermit had just gone back into the swamp and not become a Muppet...
Adam Goldberg, everybody!
That's a good... All right, thank you, Adam.
We all forget what we feel.
He's back. He's on a high.
He is back, and he means it, man. This time he's got an attitude. Check it out, Freddie.
I don't I don't want to dwell on it, but I don't understand why does that mean he caused it?
Well, it shows what life would be like if he wasn't born.
It shows what it would be like if he.
It's the alternate reality.
The alternate reality without
he
him
doesn't
has
exist.
both towers.
Okay, got it. I missed the part where I was supposed to care about the content of the Muppets, Flush, Muppets, Superman, Mickey Mouse.
You don't like the Muppets? You like the Muppets?
Yeah, I'm sick of being told how precious they are.
You ever
Prove it. It's been 48 years. Show me again how precious they are. I remember the 70s. Show me why that's been the case. I remember.
You didn't like it back then?
No, I liked it back then.
Oh, but you're saying it doesn't matter to you now?
I'm saying that does not earn you like 50 years of fucking like. Oh, look at us! Why am I looking at you? Why? Do something. And what are you doing that Carrot Top hasn't done and been reviled for? Like, what are you? You're standing there looking weird.
This is such a weird thing to be so angry about. I would never have thought that in a million years. I've known you for so long. I didn't realize you really have a lot of fucking, just very thinly masked hate and just bail for a.
Well, I got drunk last night, and I really started bashing on Superman, and in so doing, inadvertently looking back on it, I just looked like a guerrilla marketing ad for Batman versus Superman, because I'm really just saying the same things that they're saying in the Superman versus Batman trailer. It's just some guy going like, he's too powerful, I don't like him. A man shouldn't be a god. But I think, okay, so I've been talking to a lot of Superman fans on Twitter, and of course, as you know, communication leads to understanding and stuff. Any kind of hatred is we know by now. It's you just don't know. It's ignorance. You just need to talk to the right people, let the right thoughts seep in, and like Superman does seem like, as I've labeled him, a histrionic alien demagogue. Like he is a crybaby pajama man from outer space that it seems like enjoying involves prostrating yourself in front of and going like, oh, should Superman have this pillow when he's crying or this pillow? And it's like, what about us? And that's who are you supposed to identify with if not Lex Luthor?
Didn't you come to some sort of like understanding of Superman? We had that guy up and he explained that it was all
the origin of it.
Oh, he's right here in the front row. What's your name again? Eric, it was you. Oh, right.
Eric, the Superman fan, okay, who explained, that like the Muppets and like Mickey Mouse, that Superman has a very inspiring story to its backstory. Its origin. What was it? Two Jewish brothers?
Yeah, from Cleveland. Yeah, two 16-year-olds.
During the one was shot to death.
His dad,
Oh.
Jerry Siegel's dad was shot to death.
By
He was a burglar.
burglar. Okay. So why didn't he create Batman? He wasn't shot by kryptonite. No, like I'm mad for that reason. Two young Jewish kids. And what year was it? It was like the
1938.
So like America wasn't even not anti-Semitic yet. Like America was like, hey, yeah, Jews, they're the worst, right?
Somebody
who's got cash for the war? Who needs bullets and steel? It's a myth of empowerment from two minds that didn't they felt like they were at the bottom. That's very inspiring. But I'd rather read a comic book called Two Jewish Kids Make a Comic Book. Like the comic book that they created is about a hysterical pajama man. Who, in light of all the superheroes that we've created, Iron Man, whose kryptonite is alcoholism, and not even because anything bad happened to him, he just loves booze. He just loves it, and that's his kryptonite. He's just like, I love it. I love drinking and technology. That's great.
I mean, that appeals to you for obvious reasons.
Yeah. Well, isn't Superman supposed to appeal people for obvious reasons? What reason would you have to have Superman appeal to you other than a sense of powerlessness and beta male kind of? I'm sorry, Eric.
Eric, get back up here. Come on, Eric. Eric.
I just said that I had turned a corner on this. I'm sorry.
Well, his first two villains, though, he fought a corrupt landlord who was charging too much rent. He actually threw him out a window. And it was 1938 during like Great Depression times. And then the second guy I ever fought was this guy was beating his wife, and he jumped in front of him and he was like, "You want to fight somebody like who's stronger than you? You want to see how that feels?" And he like.
All right, high-roaded. High-roaded. Stop all that rape.
So he was like a champion of the common man. And
All right.
In one episode, he fought the Federal Reserve in one.
He was the first to come down against the gold standard.
Yeah.
But every decade he exists, he becomes what masculinity, like the height of masculinity. Yeah, exactly. And right now, the height of masculinity is kind of like challenging your own privilege. And that's why in the movie he's like, well, should I be doing this? Maybe Batman should be the guy. Like, maybe I should have people that are policing me, like a Justice League.
All right, that sounds good. I'm in.
So
I
it's
like
Tumblr as Lex Luthor now, telling him what to do.
I've got a lot of residual '90s Superman hatred. That's not
When he
really.
had the mullet?
Somebody tweeted very very appropriately at me like, "Oh, Superman hatred. That's so like lazy Gen X cynicism." That's right. I'm a product of my generation. The '90s were a dark time for comic books,
And we killed him in the 90s because of it.
And it was lame.
Like
It was silly. He came back with long hair. And it was silly.
And a giant gun, which was awesome.
He had a giant gun.
Yeah, the panel says, they call me a Boy Scout, and Boy Scouts are always prepared. And then he's a shotgun.
Why does he need a gun?
Exactly, yeah.
What did his gun shoot?
Kill you
Like
with,
smaller guns or something, I don't know. There's giants.
his guns shot his eyeballs, which are also guns.
Yeah, his existence. So his guns shot his existence.
Eric, did you like the Christopher Reeve movies? Like the
So much, yeah.
Christopher Reeves is such a great. Now that we've seen, it's remarkable how now we see how great, and how actor dependent the role of Superman in cinema is. Yeah. Like you really need somebody that can get away with that Boy Scout innocence, but invulnerability, like he has to have a sexuality exuding, like an attractiveness. From a heteronormative perspective, or he can be attractive to gay people as well. What do you call that? He's hot. He has to be hot. But like straight guys have to be willing to like bend a knee, which is so tough. Like only Chris Pratt has achieved that recently. So
he's also a guy who values like writing as being more powerful than like his super strength, which I thought was really cool. Being like a writer nerd, because
you really are just trying to like. No. Superman really loves writing. There was this whole story where he went around saving writers, in between saving women from being beaten in the face.
His favorite human being is Lois Lane, who's like this person who she topples tyrants with her typewriter for alliteration.
He's a journalist. You're right, but I always thought like that he's not really a real journalist. Like I don't know if Clark Kent like ever submitted any good articles to the. I always felt like that was like part of the invasiveness is that he's dwelling among us and he's part of the Fourth Estate and he's like in there. He's an alien. He doesn't need those glasses. It's a disguise. He's disguised as a human. He's an alien parasite.
A lot of hipster girls are though too. They have They had this great thing in the late '90s too, where he wrote a novel because he was like, I'm not really doing anything. Like Lois is so much better than I am at this. I'm gonna have like he quit the planet and wrote a novel called Under a Yellow Sun, and tried to be like the new John Grisham.
Wait, Clark Kent did?
Yeah.
All right, all right. The guy who saved Superman, Eric. Saved him from my wrath. My very marketable rap that is being catered to in theaters across the nation this summer.
Eric, can you save the Muppets too? I don't think your Muppets hatred might be irretrievable. That seems like a lot of.
I just respect creators, and I feel like Walt Disney was around and made Mickey Mouse, and it's like it comes from his heart, and it's like then these things get taken over by capitalism, and it's like the crowning jewel on the toxicity is like didn't we change copyright law just because like it didn't make sense that Mickey Mouse could be owned by people? Like, it's like when does Darth Vader stop being Anakin Skywalker? You know.
Speaking of Mickey Mouse, I was talking to Callie Kazoo because she wasn't here, but we were talking about animated figures. Was it about why they wear gloves? And she has the answer for that, of course, because she's an animation freak. All the characters back then, because it was black and white, all the characters were mostly just black, and so they put the white gloves on them so they weren't just black people. but that makes them look more like minstrels because the minstrel performers all wear white gloves too.
So what was the fear with minstrel performers?
Callie
they wanted their
here.
hands to read on stage. I mean,
I think so. They just weren't completely head to foot black. Like so they looked like.
You'd think before. So at that point, common sense kicked in. Like they're like, well, we want this to read. Remember when we were burning the cork and rubbing the? No one thought at that point. Nah, this seems evil.
I'm sure I'm still getting that a little bit wrong. Do you know?
It's a little bit more.
Oh, you do. Get up here.
Get up here. If you want.
Male Callie Kazoo. What's your name, sir?
Scooter?
Scooter.
Yeah.
Come on.
Like, is it Scooter? But you're from Boston.
No, it's
Scooter.
SKT. We literally had this conversation last time I was up here.
I'm an alcoholic.
Scooter.
Wait, on stage? This show is an alcoholic. The show collectively is just a drunk uncle whose mind is turning to tapioca. All right, Scooter, what did we talk about? How's art school? Dad, I told you.
No, so again, not an animation expert, but it is just a simple thing for you for why their hands are white when most characters were black in an animated world. So if their
Can you
hand,
eat that mic a little bit, Scooter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If their hand crossed their body, you can still see their hand.
See, I feel like Kelly put more of a racial spin on that.
Interesting.
Of course,
Yeah.
she's not here to defend herself, so let's just all label her a racist.
I would have thought the reason why they wear gloves is because things that move when you're doing cell-based animation, they tend to be a different shade, different color. Like in Scooby-Doo when you're watching, I'm sure we talked about this last time, that this was my theory, is that, in Scooby-Doo, it's like, gee, I wonder where the secret door is. Because it's like on a different layer of acetate, and so it's like a slightly different color. That like things that are about to move in that shot, they tend to be a different shade. So I thought characters.
Yeah, I think back in those days, though, there wasn't that. They didn't do that.
When it was black and white,
animation,
it was just
I
a
think
simple.
Every frame was probably a new cell.
All right.
I don't know.
This has been I don't know nothing with old nothing.
This was. I call this segment. We almost proved Mickey Mouse or Walt Disney was a racist.
Well, I'm sure he was. You know what the big question is? Would we have been don't
There's
you
a thing at Disneyland because I used to work at Disneyland, and all the horses on the carousel in what's it called? The Ferrybook Land by jump. Not fantasy. Is it not Fantasyland? It's not Frontierland. By Sleeping Beauty's castle, you got the carousel there, and all the horses are white. Supposedly because he thought that the kids would fight over the white horse. So he made all the horses white, which isn't necessarily racist, but it's of a certain time. Also, there was a rumor, and I really believe that I remember this. When you're walking down Main Street, in the old days, there was those little houses up there with like little miniature windows to make kind of forced perspective. There was a curtain up there with little mini swastikas on it. That was there.
All right, this is going to sound bad, but it's not what it looks like. There's a reason. It was a symbol for unity. Walt Disney was into Native American culture. And, by the way, the association of the color white and the color black, which are these like really extreme parts of the color wheel, whatever. Black isn't a color, whatever. I get confused. Scientifically, black isn't a color, and then you talk to painter people, and they're like, black is every color, black's none of the. I don't fucking get it. I hate it. The people that look at things make me angry. Learn to read. But the idea that the white horse would be more valuable to children, and then connecting that dot to race, that's also a racist thought, isn't it? Because we're not white. I'm dirty, gross, yellow, like jaundiced, like a burnt sienna, whatever. I don't know what this color is. Douchebag. I don't know what this the Crayola box would be. I don't know.
I wonder if there's like another reason for the kids wanting the white horse. I'm not sure when Disneyland kind of came about, but maybe depending on like the
55 or something like that.
Well, maybe like the prevalence of like the Lone Ranger in pop culture, and then they wanted the white horse, but they perceived that maybe kids wanting a white horse would have implications that other people would see not knowing, or is because everyone wanted to have.
Yeah,
silver?
there might have been a white horse in film, and like you've got Lone Ranger, or you've got maybe some animated film, or whatever. But I don't think you need to say that he was racist because of that. But his reasoning was he's like just make them all the same color so the kids aren't fighting, so everybody gets the same horse. But it's a white horse. He didn't make a bunch of black horses.
You look back in history, and there's certain representations that we characterize different decades, different generations, different historical figures. We look through this lens of detecting racism. What is racism? And like some people are like early champions of what we now consider to be human rights, and then some other people are early like cautionary tales, and then some people are like publicly on the right page because that's not even the popular point of view, but is like publicly what they should be, and they do the right thing publicly, but then these private things come to light that reveal that really in the fiber of their being they can't help but look at people that are different than them with some kind of downward gaze. And that might even been part of what their public face, that what we now call, that guy was a champion of blah 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 rights. It was like, yeah, but that guy thought that those people were animals. That guy thought that was a charity. I just saw. I was really really compelled by this Frank Sinatra documentary I just saw to find out. It's like.
Okay, we had a guy that wooed for hating Jews, and a guy that went for Sinatra.
I think he loves documentaries. Scooter, are you comfortable? Do you need anything?
I'm perfect.
Okay, all right.
You like a drink? You want a thing?
Would you like a cracker to be named after you, or?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, it's going to be easy. Believe me, Scooter. I'm sorry. It also sounds like a sexual like.
Dan,
thing
but before we leave Disney,
she gave me a Scooter.
Before you go on to Sinatra, now I do want to talk about the documentary. If you guys don't know this, if you go to Disneyland, which I love Disneyland, I love to go there. Go there in the morning, go get ice cream, and then run to Space Mountain. That's my tradition. But if you want a great photo moment, go. For those of you that don't know this, go to Frontierland. When you walk up Main Street, there's the hub, which is where all the world's of the land spoke off of, and there's a statue of Walt with a Mickey Mouse in his left hand, and he's pointing down Main Street. And the future and beyond. And if you stand right at the edge or the entrance of Frontierland and you look back at it, what you see is Mickey's on the far side of Walt, and Walt is pointing, and Mickey's nose is right at his crotch, and it looks like Walt Disney's got a giant boner. And if you go there, although now they got the new rockets, that new rockets kind of obscures the background because it's so busy. It used to be white. Like totally white background Tomorrowland, and you get a perfect silhouette of that. Now it's a little bit broken up by the new rocket ride, but you'll go there and you will see like some savvy like Japanese kids like taking a picture and giggling like mad. It's very good.
Have I ever talked about the fact that when you go into the Nickelodeon building, as one does, when you're pitching your animated shows.
Which one? The weird one on like Hollywood? No, was it Buena Vista, Hollywood Way? Was it?
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like you're going to get slimed when you go in there or whatever.
Or Victory? Is it Victory?
East Victory.
Yeah.
There's a Lego SpongeBob in the lobby, and I've only ever seen that character, from the front angle in a two-dimensional medium. Here he is represented in a 3D context made out of Legos, and his nose is a straight up cock. Like it has a shaft and a head.
Really?
Like it's not just like, it's a long nose like Pinocchio. It's like it's a fucking.
I thought
dick.
He kind of like a Popeye, like a smooth little whoop, like a.
It's a dick. It's a curved porn star dick with a helmet.
Really?
For as our anthropologist friend said, plunging out your competitor's semen.
Is that?
I don't know if that's what the SpongeBob creator was thinking when he was just thinking this should look like a dick.
Could that?
God was thinking it should plunge out the last guy's cum.
Could the helmet part of it just be an unfortunate accident of Lego's kind of pixelization that they can't make a smooth edge?
Look, I know a dick when I see one, and.
Dan, you made that very clear.
And when I'm brushing up against an erect one at hip level, as you do when you exit and enter the Nickelodeon building, and it's just like it's if you took just SpongeBob's nose from the lobby of the Nickelodeon building and laid it on any counter in any public establishment, whoever you were doing would go like, "What are you doing? Stop it!" They would get mad. They wouldn't go, "What is that? Is that a banana?" They would go, "What? Stop it!" But then you put it on the face of this children's character.
Is it possible that someone that works at Nickelodeon added that on and like?
What do you mean added? Well, I don't know. I mean, what's possible is that someone's interpretation of a character that's not usually rendered that way may have culminated in that. Like you take drafting class and you do things orthographically, and then you don't quite know what they're going to look like. I guess like when they're extruded.
But on a scale
That dude's got a
like,
dick nose. Yes, Scooter?
I was saying, on a scale from like 1 to nothing but trouble, where would you rate it?
Wait, you say, like, I haven't seen Nothing But Trouble.
Oh, Dan Aykroyd has a penis nose.
The penis nose?
Yeah.
I gotta watch that movie. No, you don't. No, I do. All right. So anyways, well, I was just going to say, Sinatra in this documentary, I thought, I grew up, there's certain tarot cards. It's like, Woody Allen's funny. Sinatra was a good singer, but he was a jerk to the ladies, and he was racist to Sammy. But I mean, I was surprised to like hear the story of Frank Sinatra, like was how long that story is, and how many times he was the underdog and how hard he had to work to be taken seriously and stuff.
I love Sinatra, and I was so excited to see that documentary. I didn't like that documentary. I thought that was a real fucking fluff piece on him. Like,
it was.
It was so friends and family made. And they gloss over what a complete virulent asshole he was to people.
Well, I don't know.
And they go, he knew some. He knew the mafia guys, but he was always this. And also, he was a great anti-bigotry guy.
All that stuff
is true.
I learned that stuff from that documentary, though. So maybe if you take a step back, maybe it was just enough of he was an asshole. Because I learned that he was an asshole from that documentary. I learned that he was racist in the show.
You don't hear all the threats, possible murders. He was under indictment for murders and stuff like that.
I thought that
he didn't do, but
a lot of that stuff was maybe apocryphal because they were honest about the stuff that was real, like his associations with the actual mob.
I think they glossed over it. There's that one moment where Harry Belafonte was disappointed in him for being racist to Sammy for a couple Rat Pack summits in Vegas. Other than that, like he was like that's the only time in that documentary where I feel like anyone gives him holds him to the fire at all. Like he threatened and bullied, and he was such an ass. Now also great in other ways, but like someone referred to him. A friend of his that worked with him called him a 24-karat manic depressive. So like you got both ends of that.
It's that my way thing. I guess it was like I finally needed to see through a lens of like I've only ever thought he was just like an entitled jackass that was just like born to the manor. Like I didn't hear the underdog story a little bit. Like he had to, but the fact that he was in his this is what I was just talking about. I can't say in his heart or in his mind because there's a difference there. He was politically early on in his life. He was absolutely like he wanted to make people understand that racism was wrong because it had affected Italians, and so why should black people be different? This guy is going to do that every 8 minutes regardless. We're going to test that theory in a moment. See if we can connect the dot the next time.
Here's a problem.
Because right now we're not sure if he loves racism or hates it or loves documentary filmmaking, Frank Sinatra or Batman. We're not sure. But by the end of the night we're going to go, oh, he loves self-reliance. That's it. He's a Walt Whitman fan.
We're going to connect all those dots. It's going to draw.
Like a theme of like, oh, that guy was about self-reliance. Yeah, there we go. Okay, spoilers.
Hang on. So, for instance, like when they talk about his rise to fame, and all of a sudden he's singing in the big clubs, and he's on the marquee, and all the Bobby Soxers are out there. And in interviews, he's like, yeah, you got these girls out there and everyone's screaming. What they just happened to not mention is that was all fucking paid for. Like, they've shipped all those girls in for that shit. It was all PR stunts.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He wasn't instantly that famous. They took a bunch of girls and sat him out there and said, when he comes out, scream like fucking mad. Here's a whatever they gave them. Like, why not mention that in the documentary that every other documentary and book about him is mentioned?
Okay.
They just went right
so there was
across,
definitely you could
interesting
tell.
little tidbits. And all of a sudden, boom, bang, bing, but the people were throwing the thing. and the stuff and the da. It's like, no, like you were also just from the very get-go, he was a very political, very driven, ambitious guy, and that included...
Which is pretty fascinating, and we could allow... Like, Howard Hughes was a very flawed guy, but,
Did I ever tell you the Murray Langstrom Sinatra story? You know Murray Langstrom? He was the unknown comic, the guy that wore the paper bag in his head. And I was doing a show with the improv guys at the Improv in Melrose.
Give me 1 second. Scooter, do you need just a Gatorade or a weird name or anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay. I think you're easy on the eyes, and it's good to have you up here.
Okay, that's fine.
Like, I think the ladies like it. I haven't been getting tweeted
Scooter?
or anything, but
Bottle of water, maybe?
Yeah.
I'll take a bottle of water, sure.
That's a nice balance, I think, is looking at me with my...
All right, so somebody, I think it was Drew Carey, goes like, Murray, tell Jeff, he'll love it. Tell Jeff your Sinatra story. And so he says, this is fucking great. We're at the bar at the Improv, and he goes, he was doing Carson. I don't know what year it would have been, but it would have been probably late 70s, early 80s. I don't know. And he's doing Carson, and he makes a joke about Sinatra because he was in the news for another divorce. And it was some joke about like when it comes to cheating on wives, Sinatra does it his way. Oh, like not even like a really major zing or whatever. He's just being a silly Murray joke. He goes home that night to a shitty apartment. Phone rings, and he's tired and he's exhausted. And he goes, "Hello, are you Murray?" "Yes." "This is Frank Sinatra." He goes, "Hey, fucking Tim." One of his friends, like, "Motherfucker, I'm tired." Click. Ring, 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 ring. "Hello." "Don't hang up on me. This is Frank Sinatra." "Hey, Tim, go fuck yourself, man. Like, I've been working all day." Click. 10 minutes goes by. Phone rings. "Hello."
10 minutes? So like, is it Frank Sinatra staring at the phone? Like,
No, Dan, you're about to find out why the time passes there. Time passes. He thinks that's that. The phone rings. "Hello," and he says, "Murray, this is Milton Berle. Do you recognize my voice?"
oh, God.
And he goes, "Yes, Milty." Like, "Hello." He goes, "That was Frank Sinatra, and he's super, super mad right now." He goes, "Do not hang up the phone. Listen to what I have to tell you." He goes, "He's going to call you back. We're trying to calm him down. He's going to send someone. He's going to send someone to your house to have you fucked up because his kid watches that show, and you just made a joke about daddy fucking around on mommy."
I'm confused again. Family values? Does he like family values? Or adultery? I don't know.
He still hasn't gotten out of self-reliance necessarily.
Right.
We might come back there. He's just drawing a larger circle around whatever it is.
I hope we don't find he just like saying, "Yup." Oh, that's going to burn me up.
I'm almost certain that's it, Dan. Dan, don't let him break your heart. So... You got values?
Okay, all right, okay. He's got values.
I'm a human being.
In an almost shark jumping breaking of his yups, he's all right. Good. That's good. I'm glad you did that. Thank you. We know you have values. We're going to track them.
So Milton Berle was like, "This is not an alert. This is not a drill. He's going to send someone to your house and have you fucked up." Like that, and he says, "Murray, he's absolutely capable of doing that because he does that. Like, he's a very, very violent man, and this is not a fucking drill." He goes, "He's going to call you back when we calm him down, and you're not going to say anything but apologize, and you don't say anything else but you're sorry, okay?" And he's like, "Milty, it was just a joke. Like, we're comics. That's our job." He's like, I know, but that doesn't matter right now. I'm trying to...
I'm Milton Berle. I haven't told a joke for 38 years. I'm famous for standing there.
So he's like, "I'm just trying to help you out." So he's like, "God, this is fucking bullshit." And so as Murray's telling me the story, he's like, "I'm like, fuck this guy, you know?" And so the phone rings, and he's like, the whole time he's like, "I'm gonna tell this guy, jump in a lake and like take my chances or whatever." I like it.
I like how classy he is about it. I'm gonna tell this guy, go build a wheel and make like a leaf and just get out of here. And take it on the road, Jack.
This story's a while ago. I'm paraphrasing, Murray. I cannot quote verbatim on this. So the phone rings, and he picks it up, and he goes, "Hello," and all he hears is, "Talk." And that's it.
That wasn't the deal.
And so he goes, "I think about it for a second. It's just not. I'm so sorry. I apologize from the bottom of my heart. I'm a big fan of yours. I would never do anything." And he goes on and on and on. "I'm a fan of your music. I would never insult your family. It was just a thing. Blah, blah, blah. It'll never happen again. Blah, blah." And then I eventually click. And that was it. No.
Resolution?
Okay. No. Family Values is gone. Family Values is out. Self-Reliance is out on that one.
Also, there's the danger of the copycat yipping.
Was that a copycat youper?
I don't know.
I'll say.
Nope.
I mean,
That was me.
it's not a hard one to copycat.
Yeah.
So
They're getting closer together too. It's like in the movie theater, somebody gets a laugh, and then it's like, oh boy. I hope he sees that pattern and tries to trick us. Space it out, fan it out, blow our minds. Let's hear the next yip, like 9:15.
That was a good copycat.
That was a copycat. Okay, so we've talked too long about the Frank Sinatra documentary. I had never, I'd only heard these this zeitgeist stuff. So it was a good start to watch like this, as you say, I think is very accurate. It was a friends and family produced documentary. It had that tone. Yeah. But even within that, there were the stories of all these things that you had heard, them spread out on a timeline, like a big, long SpongeBob nose. And just bringing it back around to you, and just like, I already thought that was so interesting because I do believe. Here's the thing that makes it relevant right now in this room, is that here was this guy who at a very young age he was he's putting himself out there about this new topic of racism, and I believe these stories are true because why wouldn't they be? Like the idea of him taking Sammy Davis Jr. under his arm and really actually caring about this emerging thing of black people aren't human beings.
I think he found Sammy singing at Ciro's and saw him, and he went to Vegas. He's like, this guy's going to be in the thing. And they're like, no, we can't put him in the main room. He's like, no, he's main room. And then they all had to live in Darktown, which is a shanty town outside of Vegas. And all of the musicians, like Count Basie's band, Count Basie, you couldn't fucking go and stay in Vegas. And Sinatra said, they stay in the hotel. He's like, if you don't want Sammy Davis in your hotel, you don't want Frank Sinatra in your hotel. And he completely bullied them around.
So there you go, megalomania as progress. It's like very interesting. But ownership. Still ownership, right? So this is the epiphany that Aaron and I had while we were watching the documentary because we were like puzzled by it. It was like, well, wait, because they showed clips of those Rat Pack shows that are just like undeniably like anti, like not even. I thought back that it was just sort of like you make gay jokes and it's like. Oh, there's a gay guy on stage and you make a gay joke and it's kind of like
well, they also
it's sort of like refreshingly uncomfortable and people giggle uncomfortably and it's like sort of like the comedy edge is like sort of like it's hit and miss and it's like blah blah blah. But they showed clips of like Dean Martin like Sammy Davis Jr. touches him and the joke is that he doesn't want him to touch
There's
him.
an old joke on one of the Caesars, I think it's Caesar's Palace Rat Pack ones where he goes, Sammy, I love you. I love your kids. I'll hang out with you. I'll play sports with you. I'll go golfing with you, but don't touch me.
Yeah, I'll go to shul with you, but don't touch me. Yeah. But it was also like the joke was that he was angry. Like the joke was like the joke. You could tell that if the joke was going to make anyone laugh, that it was coming from a Michael Douglas falling down angry white man place, and not from a hilarious we're all starting to mix together.
That clip is a bummer. Him picking Sammy up and saying, "I'd like to thank the NAACP for the statue." That's hilarious.
Sure, that's what I'm talking about. It's like, well, maybe we're friends and maybe we say these weird things.
Whenever Sammy would come out there, because they worshipped Sammy Davis Jr. and Frank's nickname for him was the Great Entertainer. Like he was like nobody's bet. He was honored to be on a stage with Sammy. And there's a lot of Rat Pack stuff where you listen to it, and whoever's singing gets shit from the other guys, except for Frank. Nobody fucks with Frank while he's out there. But everybody else is taking a dump on each other and doing jokes. The easy target Sammy jokes are black guy jokes, because Rickles is in the next room doing all that shit. But there's lots of stuff where Sammy does super black power jokes on them. So it's like, oh boy, it's like, as soon as we get in the lead, you guys are going to go first, and the crowd cheers.
Right.
And
okay. So do you have a super point to make, or can I stitch right that from there?
No, they gave it back and forth, but certainly Sammy, I think, was the butt of a lot of that.
Right. So Aaron and I are watching this and we're going like, this is weird. Who's this Boy Scout guy who like very early in his career, when he actually had a lot of things to risk before he was in total control, is actually early on putting himself out there because as an Italian saying like, you know what, when I was young, Italians were maligned and not let in, and I'm a successful Italian now, and I don't want to watch this shit roll downhill. And so what how is that guy? What are these Rat Pack shows? And then we're sitting there puzzling through it, and then Aaron said, well, the world changed underneath all that. Maybe the people that are at the forefront of, for instance, and this is, I think, the example that we can relate to is 10 years ago, who were the feminists? How many of them are still in all that has come up in the last 10 years? Like, when feminism meant just being a fan of women. Like when it was just like, hey, give the girls a hand, and maybe give me a kiss, ladies. Like how, like is there a subsection of like the most outspoken like guys like that beta male quotient where it was like I'm a rabid, virulent beta male feminist, and then 10 years later like. There is that person that personality type that's like when the shit hits the fan, when the rubber meets the road, then it's like, whoa, wait a minute. You know, I was doing that because I like fairness. I like ownership. I like hierarchy. I like my comfort. My comfort is now being threatened. The thing that changed in between Boy Scout Frank Sinatra saying "fuck the world if you're going to be racist" and Frank Sinatra like publicly flogging emotionally a black man on stage for his adoring fans, the thing that changes in between there and is that the world changes, and the thing that remains the same is Frank's in control and saying "fuck you." Yeah.
I don't think he liked being told what to do. There's a story that when he, and also, I mean, it's all been told. There's so many documentaries and books about him and TV pieces. When he first started out, they made him change his name when he was working at some club, and I think it was Frank Diamond he had to change his name to, and he did a couple gigs as Frank Diamond. I might be getting that wrong. And he changed his name back. He's like he was working at a club. And he goes, I can't tell my mom and my grandma and my family that I changed the family name. And he said, you'll never work with the name Sinatra because no one wants to listen to a nigger record. And because the Irish were niggers, the Italians were niggers. Like that's what white people called anybody that was not a white Protestant. And so like his dukes were always up about being told what to do. And also like he was Italian. He was really fucking proud of that. And they said like, you'll never work because Bing Crosby is like he's in charge. And he's like fuck Bing Crosby. Like he went after Bing Crosby. Like, and
then later had to get gone after by Elvis and endure that. Like he had to do that same.
He works really hard to get the first Catholic president elected. He had a lot to do with Kennedy getting elected.
Yeah, and that's where the mob stuff was honest. That's what I thought was ironic because I thought the other stuff was apocryphal because in a documentary where they were honest about the fact that he got Kennedy elected because he had mob influence. And period.
Yeah,
I was like, well, this seems like an honest thing to say. So maybe if they say the other stuff is apocryphal, maybe it's apocryphal. But you're right. It was clearly produced by people that were.
The thing was always that he was in charge. I think I've even heard like when he was a little kid, his mom was like super alpha, like really in charge, and the kids would come over and she'd make dinner for all the neighborhood kids, and. He was a little guy. He wasn't a tough guy, but he was like the mayor of his block when he was a little shrimpy kid, because he was just super in charge. Like he had to be the boss of everything, even as a little boy.
Scooter, how do we undo talking about Frank Sinatra for 25 minutes? What do we do?
Scooter rap.
Yeah. Are you ready, Dan? I genuinely can't rap anymore.
This is your rap. Well, you put it at. I'll rap about you.
Well, his name is S-C-U-D-A. Scooter. Okay. All right. Well, his name is S-K-O-O-D-A. All right. Get closer.
Get closer.
His name is S-K-U-D-A. H-T-A. T-A?
S-K-U-T-A.
S-K-U-T-A.
Hey, yup guy, come up on stage. We want to fill in like be the hype man and do some yups on this. Oh shit!
Grab a
mic. And when you feel it's the time in the rap to do it, you lay it in there.
Okay.
Yo. Uh-oh. Yo. Okay.
We're gonna get some Scooter. I said we're gon' get some scooter. I got my boys, got a 72 Barracuda. I got my bull over here, his name is Scooter. He's wearing all these checks. He's writing all these checks. He's eating all these checks. He's writing all these checks. My boy, he's got these checks. He's got the checks.
Meant to be SCOUTARA. Family.
Yo, family. Yo.
Scooter rap.
Yo, Scooter rap, band family. I got this shit on the motherfucking rim of me.
All right.
Yip guy.
Oh, that's the Yoop guy?
This is Yip guy.
All right, Yoop guy, well, let's have a seat. Let's have some denouement here. Let's have some Danu Yoop.
Can we go? I mean, do we have the technology to replay the tape and find out what you rhymed family with? Ramamy?
I like the refreshing.
My thing is that, listen, my family, they've been ramming me with all this negativity, man.
Whoa.
And I just drove cross country because I heard some good spirits and some beautiful people, some of which are here tonight. And I love some of what the Hamburglar was saying before.
Ladies and gentlemen,
life being beautiful.
I'd like to take this moment. For $5, you can subscribe to our podcast and find out what this guy actually looks like. It's not exactly.
No.
Oh, Jesus. Wow.
Casualties.
He almost broke his own glasses. It's like a one-man Twilight Zone episode. Time enough at last. Finally get to headbang all I want. Oh, wait. My book on headbanging, I can't read it.
Joe, Harmon, you ever see that episode of Twilight Zone when that guy is sitting in the airplane and he's like he's chilling in the airplane and he's like having a good time and shit, and then like at the end of the episode he looks out the window. That was me, boy.
Wait, what? That's an episode of Twilight Zone? The guy takes an entire plane ride and then looks out the window and someone says, "Now's me, boy."
Yeah, Jeff saw it. Jeff saw it. Jeff saw it. Jeff, you saw me, boy.
What's your name first off?
My name's Dave, man. My name's Dave. Yeah, that's right. That's my name.
That doesn't surprise me a bit.
My name's Dave Klein. My name's Dave Klein, baby.
Dave, where you from, man?
I'm from... from New Jersey, baby. And you've been Frank Sinatra for real. For real, though. For real.
You from Hoboken? Where you from?
I'm from Paramus, New Jersey, baby.
Paramus.
I was born in Manhattan because my mama was an opera singer.
Oh, and then she put you in a basket and sent you the wrong way down the river? An anti-Moses story.
Harmon, you'll love this. You'll love this, Harmon. My mama was the leading coloratura at New York City Opera.
She was the leading what?
Coloratura soprano, which is like real high. So if you sing up, so like I'm a bad boy. So like my voice go down, girl, go crazy. That's from my papa, who's also an opera singer. My mama was the leading coloratura soprano at New York City Opera, and she got pregnant. And what happened was they brought in an understudy, and they were like, "Yo, you getting old? We don't like the way you look no more. You're getting pregnant. We're gonna bring this gal, all right? And we're gonna see what she's at. We're gonna see what she do. My mom's pregnant with me, looking her destiny in the face, and she keeps singing. Mama kept singing, all right? Mama kept singing. While she's pregnant with me.
Daddy sing bass. Mama kept singing.
But wait, she kept singing in the theater was firing her. Did she keep singing in New Jersey?
So get this. No. My mom.
That story sounded like.
My mom said, "Fuck childbirth. I'm having a cesarean." She has a cesarean. Has me pulled out of her.
In which trimester?
On stage?
This is actually a David Lynch film directed by Matthew Barney, like mid-'80s. This is some like heavy-duty, heavy-hitter shit. This is
an origin story.
This is the most ancient Greek way to describe it. My mom got laid off and had a cesarean. My mom had my body untimely ripped from her womb.
Harmon, you're right. That's what would happen to normal humans, but Mama Klein ain't a normal human. She had me cut out of her.
Your name is Dave Klein?
That's right, baby. My name's Dave Klein. You don't have to press rewind on that either.
So
Mama Klein has me ripped out of whatever parts I was growing in because they weren't the normal parts. That's for damn sure. And they pull me out of there, and I come scurrying out and sniffing around. I sniff and I say, "Oh yeah, baby, it's over." Well, I'm more of a macho, Maine, Randy Savage guy. But anyway.
I don't know.
They pull me out. Long story short, Mama Klein's a fucking baller and a rider. She was ready to go. They sewed her up, and she was on stage singing Manon as Manon 3 weeks after having her guts split open and having me fall out of her and spill all over the earth.
You could take away from that your mom's a workaholic that didn't care about your well-being.
Well...
No, Dan, she was a writer and she was a baller.
Well, I mean, this gets into the thing of like being the son of an extraordinary woman is a difficult thing.
Oh, okay, I like that. That's good.
True, and that's true.
You know what? And it was hard for her, and they gave her a choice, but she still had you, and So your burden as a white male with a remarkable mother, like
I have a lot of guilt, and so
she paid a little forward. She's like, fuck that guy, he'll have privilege. I'll semi-abort him and then go back to work. Let him go up to the plates with a couple strikes.
She knew that she had a fury line in her, and that like she could kind of throw the kid to the wolves. Some kids, when they get thrown to the wolves, they get eat.
Right.
I got thrown to the wolves.
Others become Oedipus.
Yo, Harmon.
Who was also very fond of his mama.
Harmon, what'd you just say about my mama? What'd you just Greek Oedipus say about my mom?
I said you may be destined to have sex with her. I implied.
All I'm gonna say is that good hair runs in the bloodline.
Is your mom still with us?
She is. Her name's Claudette Peterson. She's a beautiful woman. Yeah.
Where does she live?
How beautiful is she, Dave?
Oh boy! Family. How beautiful is my mama? My mama is so beautiful.
How beautiful is she?
My mama's so beautiful that Aristotle had to go into the future, find my mama, find the time machine, go back in time so that he could write the right answer for what's beauty. Because when Aristotle wrote it right in the future past, he said beauty is Mama Klein.
$5 at Feral Audio gets you the live stream. Subscribe now. Find out what Dave Klein fucking looks like.
He's like Spencer on ketamine.
I was gonna say a super cool. I guess when you take a marijuana joint and you lace it with PCP. That's. You ever have one of those, Dave? You ever puff a super cool?
I actually love to smoke weed.
Wait,
that's a huge reason why I claimed out here. Yeah.
It's 9/11, by the way. I don't know if Dave Klein has any take on that.
Well, not to get too real on that, but I went to an all-boys Catholic super sport factory for high school. And we lost a couple of boys in the towers, and I was in a classroom watching it.
What? But you confused me with you went to a factory for
collegiate
super
athletics.
sports.
Is that like a puppy mill? Like you went to a factory instead of a school? Like they're like, we're gonna make you an athlete.
What they do is like there's certain places in America where they say like, yo, society's real fucked up and they don't know anything. So like we don't really know a lot of things, but what we do know are like a couple of them. And like what we know and like what we know, we're gonna fucking like do, and we're gonna do this shit like hard. We're gonna go hard on what we know. Now listen, boy, we don't know nothing. You gotta never forget that you know nothing. Ooh, think about that. Nothing. You really don't. Anyway, Harmon knows this. Harmon knows you don't know anything until you channel the fury into one or two pursuits. You start jumping down on them all the way, sniffing around.
The exits are two to the back.
So
one behind me.
So your school had a lacrosse team? What is the...
My school, my school, like...
Please file out an orderly fashion.
This is a real story. Like, for instance, our football team produced the defensive rookie of the year in the NFL. No shit. His name's Brian Cushing.
But you use the word factory. I just want to know, is that like an actual like cultural thing? Like
a sports factory, or what are called magnet schools for like virtuosic athletes. So not for nothing, I was a virtuosic swimmer. And I fly through the water and
you
struggle
do seem
on Earth.
like a super soldier program gone awry. It does seem like genetically you were kind of dealt all the cards, and then you just made. Well, I'm not to say 90-degree choices,
gentlemen.
Like you came out of the vat and you were like, "Where's the record store?"
Gentlemen, we finally received funding for Operation Metalbeast.
It looks like if we would it looks like if we took you into like an army barracks and you heard like buzz clippers coming for a while, like a really marketable guy might emerge.
Here's the thing, Dan. I went to a school where I got to see a lot of things of like where the future was going to go if I went one direction, and I did a bad and crazy thing and got crazy addicted to drugs and alcohol.
Which ones?
Marijuana and alcohol.
Marijuana.
So I cut out most of the alcohol, but it was really for whatever. This is all personal choices. It was more that I was just a real dark human being and wasn't like powerful or skilled, which. When you're not powerful or skilled and you want to be powerful and
so you felt like there's like a shadow from your mom. Like you see these photos of your mom being super talented, this mythology of your mom being so talented that you had to be ripped from her womb so that she could get back to work.
Well, I guess my take on it is that I don't think it's a mythology. I think everybody should.
Well,
be
when I say mythology, I don't mean lies.
Right. I was afforded some truths that like you can be great if you can like be patient and only care about like a couple fucking things. Keep your family fucking close.
So it was
family values. It's family values.
That's what the yips are for.
Family values.
We finally got it.
All right, Dave Klein, are you living in LA now? Are you gonna be coming back with your yips and your?
This is a crazy thing. I came out here for my friend's wedding, and that turned into I might as well.
And that turned into an annulment. Sorry.
Well, no. That's not my.
It's just because of your toast, is what I was thinking. It's just imagining your toast.
No comment.
Look, I've known Stuart a long time. Wow! Ooh. Here's the thing: when you know someone, and you really know someone, and you don't know anyone else but that person, and you're focusing your knowledge on them, and you have a connection. And then the father of the bride's like, "What's the toast? What are you toasting to? I understand it's passionate. What is it?"
Well, the funny thing is that this actually happened. That's like pretty much exactly how it went down.
Oh, I'm sorry. but your friend's still married, right?
And the gal is the most forgiving and beautiful and wonderful and understanding person. Fucking hamburglers, dude.
Adam Goldberg's obviously jealous for obvious reasons.
My first time.
Have you ever seen the video game Space Ace? Adam Goldberg turns into you when you hit that button. Daphne! It's an old reference. You can actually download Space Ace on the Apple Store. It's like $5. You can play this whole game. Don Bluth made these Laserdisc video games back then, Dragon's Lair and Space Ace. It was incredible. We thought that's what interactivity was going to be. Like a video game would be like you just watch a cartoon, but all it was is you're watching a cartoon and then an arrow would pop up and you had to hit the joystick the right way. Anyways, are your friends here by any chance? Did you come here with the wedding?
A couple of them, a couple of them are back there.
Are they still here?
Fucking groom's here, man.
Is the groom here? I feel like we should bring the groom up, but we also need to bring our friends out. We gotta get the show on the road.
Well, we
I just want to say, like, one of the main there's a constellation of reasons I came out here. One of for real, and it's so lame, but I'm gonna give a voice to a lot of fucking people here. What you do here is so cool and powerful and chill and just opens up a lot of like cool avenues.
I think he knows what he's talking about.
It's just.
I like you and Superman tonight.
It's just. And just like thanks for having this, because like I listened to the podcast, and it let me know that LA has some shit that I want to do that isn't like the crazy like are you Jeff Spielberg, are you like Bob Tarantino,
right?
It's like
you can come out here and form a community of your own with, this is one of the biggest resources of LA. Now that we can all make movies and put them on YouTube, it's actually not the place you need to come because they're sound stages. The reason to come now is because of the bumper crop of creative people who are all sitting around spinning their wheels. You can form your own communities. You can do new things. You can form a new industry.
Dave Klein is now genuflecting.
Listen. We're here because he's right, and I love you guys, and I'm gonna bounce. Much love.
Oh, nice! And he self-exits. I like this guy, Dave Klein, the Yoop guy. Yoop. All right. Oh no, Scooter. Oh, Scooter, don't take that the wrong way.
When I say Dave, you say Yup. Dave. Yup. Dave. Yup. When I say Scooter, you spell it. Scooter.
S-C-U-T-A. S-K-U-T-A. S-K-U-T-A. It rhymes, so you remember it the next day.
I tried to get out like mid Sinatra.
No, that's Scooter.
I felt that would be
Scooter, we needed you here as ballast for just
as a physical buffer. Like you took a couple hits there.
Scooter. I didn't want to make a big deal of it, but I did get like several like hair whips to the face. And that's fine. It's totally fine.
No, I Scooter. It's a different case with you. I mean, that guy was a character. We like it when the characters self-exit because otherwise the alternative is like cattle prods and stuff. Like you have a very kind-hearted nature. We knew we could have asked you to leave at any time. Sure. I'm sorry. I praised him for self-exiting did not mean that you have been lingering like a.
I hadn't said anything for a while. So
Scooter, you're not leaving. You're staying the whole show up here, baby.
Yeah.
I'll stay.
Scooter ain't leaving.
He's our fuzzy dice. Scooter's fuzzy dice. You're what makes you bring the whole Chevy together. I got my Scooter in the rear view, popping on the AIDS tonight. Surf AIDS song. This is a surf AIDS song. I don't know.
Popping on the AIDS?
Yeah, I don't know. So I gotta run and be aware of AIDS today. So if the surfer culture came back but was more modern, and I got my red ribbon on my vest. Woo-woo!
I feel like we're living in a strange vacuum after Dave Klein got off the stage.
He brought a lot of empowerment.
It's like coming down off ecstasy, like the serotonin has just all left our bodies, and we're just.
That's actually, if you imagine that guy, but if he didn't like me, that's my brother. That's what makes me kind of enamored with him. I'm like, man.
All the zeal, none of the affection.
Yeah. Like I love this. My brother was so passionate.
That was a pleasure, Dave. Thank you, man. You're a very spiritual, interesting dude.
I like that his life is mythical. That he has a goddess for a mom, and really, it was like there's more there. There's a lot going on there.
We live in a world like we all have our filters. We all have our things that we keep hidden. And Dave, you come up here and you dance and you headbang and stuff like that. And you also reveal a lot about yourself. But even then, I'm sure there's stuff that you have to hide about yourself. I hide behind a suit.
He also revealed a lot about the skill of the carpenters that assembled this platform. I don't think that was ever expected of them. Like you think in LA, if you're not making a movie, you're probably phoning it in. But whoever made this platform wasn't fucking around.
He revealed a lot about the limits of Scooter's physical endurance.
Anyways,
I just like it when it's straight, no chaser. It was very good.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful organic show, but only at the expense of we've deprived our friends.
Well, let's not deprive our audience friends anymore. Let's bring out DeMorge Brown and Spencer Crittenden, shall we? Tough act to follow, boys.
Hey, Spencer, what was it like to see the version of you that would have existed had you been Superman and Superman 4 Quest for Peace had been a thing? I don't know.
Eric clapped. Eric liked it.
The internet's a great place. I was trolling the Reddit thread about this episode, and someone pulled up a picture of him with his family from the past.
Whoa!
It's creepy, man. It's a creepy world.
Oh, not the photo. You're saying the ability to see that is creepy.
Yeah, I mean, who knew? right?
Yeah.
It's just you come up 5 seconds later, your whole Zaba search is up there on Reddit. Zaba search is a great website for pervs and stalkers. So
your one-stop cyberbullying shop, Zaba search. What was the thing they used to humiliate that Star Wars kid? Was that what was there was like a certain program that was referenced? Remember the Star Wars kid? God, that was so long ago that
well, wasn't it? It was like a video that was like shared way before YouTube. So it was like I know it was on like Napster or no.
Yeah, it was like on like a file sharing service. God, sorry, it was a Z Kazaa.
Oh. Yep. I remember.
Yeah. I wonder what happened with that kid. It's just like what a weird phenomenon that was. It was just it's still such weird things. Like we're 20 years into everybody's listening, everybody's watching, and we're still. I don't know if this will ever stop. We're still so fascinated with the minutia because these things pop up that out of context and like brought to the fore. Now I'm thinking of the Africa AIDS joke lady, who and how that phenomenon happened. How she was like tweeting and she made this like dumb bad joke because she's not a comedian. Exactly, yeah. And by the time she landed in Africa, she was literally world famous and definitely fired and definitely it's absolutely no judgment on human. I think that's the thing is like why judgment? Why outside of that, like the phenomenon happening becomes the bigger story. Like we have the power now to destroy human life, like outside of referendum, outside of like criminal courts, outside like we can really. We've always had that power, but it was like. Broadcast news would occasionally, graze across an individual human life. And it was like, oh, you were on the nightly news, and it was like a rarer thing. But now you can just go from the airport fucking around to the cover of Time magazine in a bad way in the span of a 3-hour span. And I don't. It's equal parts scary and kind of invigorating because also like this is the same thing that we're finding out. Like, it's not like cops are all of a sudden going insane. It's like clearly it's been a high pressure job for a while, and some shit's been swept under the carpet, and like individual instances are becoming like able to.
Everybody wasn't wearing a camera at all times.
Yeah, now we're just we're awakening to this world of taste buds. Like, everything's like tastes all fucked up. We're like focusing in on these individual things. I guess my hope is that we can kind of aggregate that into like some common sense stuff about, like, for instance.
Well, it's going to force people to be serious about what they say and what they do. I mean, you see politicians now who are, I assume, older. Maybe this is why, but they're behind the curve, and you have them telling stories or their renditions of things because they're used to being caught up to if they're going to get vetted maybe a year or 2 years later, and now it's happening pretty much instantly. It happened to Hillary when she was talking about that plane landing in Syria, like that.
Well, also like this new phenomenon, this next generation's politicians, like okay, so the guy that took over the Daily Show, he made when he was 20 something, like, oh my God, the jokes that I made when I was in my 20s, and the guy is taking over the Daily Show. So we saw that phenomenon. It was like he was vetted because Jon Stewart is, for better or for worse, a senator, and he's retiring, and the guy taking his place needed to be vetted, and he was vetted via the internet, and there's a public record of him growing as a comedian, including all of his Jew jokes and his misogyny and stuff, like him experimenting with trying to be funny, and so like politicians, holy shit, man, like the next generation of like people trying to be senators and presidents, you're going to be able to go back and go like, yeah, well, like I want to think of it as a good thing, but my concern is that it's just going to enter a new like Elizabethan kind of or Victorian. I don't know anything about history. No. That prudence will reign, and that will not free us.
I think what's happening right now is that I hate politics, and I don't like Republicans or Democrats particularly, and people have this choice to make, right? With Hillary or whoever, it's probably she'll be the only nominee, right?
Brian Williams,
and there are people that are like, she's not a perfect candidate, but I think nowadays I don't think there'll ever be such a thing as a perfect candidate again, because there'll be no secrets, no mysteries. All of your warts and pimples and flaws are going to be so much a matter of public record for your entire existence that maybe there's a possible
or there will be superhumans like Barack Obama who like the thing that was significant about him to me was his ability to withstand all of that shit that became a kind of hero's journey in and of itself. I started rooting for him because as much as I hate politicians, I'm like, fuck you for trying to dirty this guy, and you can't find it, you can't figure it out, you can't figure out why he's a bad guy. But my concern is that then it's just we evolve in that direction, that these people continue to you pull them out of their mother's womb by either untimely or not, and you put them on a scale and you barcode. I mean, this is already my perception of the political career path. They are pulled out of a womb in a different hospital.
Have you noticed that we're getting less Yoops now that Dave got all that out of his system?
He's good. He's now in his mind. He's curled up at his mother's breast, going Yoop. Yoop. Or she's going Yoop, and brushing his hair.
It's way higher. She's a soprano.
Yoop, and the glasses are breaking. That's
why he brings 2 pairs of glasses on stage.
What is my point? When I was a communications major in college, my professor Ken Sobiak said, with technology comes, we keep trying to figure out, is this good technology or bad technology? MP3, direct broadcast satellite, internet, YouTube, it always turns out it's more good and more bad. I keep the internet.
We put Scooter to work, apparently.
Scooter's trying to kill me.
Scooter's now become bartender. I love that.
The internet represents new...
Scooter, would you like one?
No, I'm good. Thank
you. New opportunities for the truth to come out, and I just worry that it represents a new agenda for lies to get more Games of Thronies.
I think what it's going to inevitably do, and it does, to people that when you first get on Twitter and you have 5 followers, you make poopy jokes and any joke, you don't give a shit. Then if you're all of a sudden you crossed a critical mass threshold of amount of followers, you already have to start sanding the edges down and then trimming major corners off. And
you have to decide what stick you are, because it's not like I'm just some bland vanilla person, but I did have to pick which fucking specific stick I was.
You know what? I was right. I did the wrong thing, and I made the right decision afterwards. I posted a video for 10 seconds from, I went against everything I believe in. I went to this music festival called Stagecoach because my friend was singing, and it's Coachella but country music. It's on the same fairgrounds. I despise music festivals because it's a bunch of douchebags and it's dirt everywhere. And you have to eat some horrible pizza. And it was great because I saw Merle Haggard, which I loved, and it was very fun. Every girl there unanimously in short shorts, which seems like something that I'd be all for, but they were all this young and just the thing was, what bothered me, it was 100% white people, and it's you can't have a festival.
Gross.
I know.
Right, DeMorge?
Huh? No, it's I don't like when it's homogenous like that. It's just that's not a festival. Have a couple other people. So anyway, I was walking by this. Don't just have an all white festival. So not by design. It's a country festival, so of course. But I'm walking. I was walking by this trash cans, and they have recycle bin, landfill bin, compost bin, and there was a security guard, kind of supine, laying there lazily on some hay bales next to those, doing nothing.
Like a hee-haw sketch.
Yes. There were some corn stalks, and at some point, Ray Price came through. Roy Price, was it? Anyway, there was this 2 girls, and I took a video, which is quite hilarious, and I'll show you after the show if you'd like to see it. 2 girls wearing the same outfit, white short shorts, and one girl was holding the other girl's hair back as the other girl was vomiting, and I thought quite cleverly, into the compost bin. I thought that was nice.
That's good, right?
Yeah,
that would be the best compost ever.
It's not landfill. It's not. You don't want to recycle vomit.
But also, it doesn't ruin the compost process, right?
I think you're speeding it up. I think you're halfway home.
I would assume. I'm actually asking.
I'm almost certain if you vomited on a cornfield, you'd grow some nice ass corn.
But I wonder, aren't there worms in there doing work? So I don't know if the vomit kills the worms. Maybe that's actually bad.
I think at this stage in the game, there's nothing happening yet. Later on, you want the worms to start.
Oh, okay, I'm confused. Yeah. I don't know.
This is a trash can. I'd never seen a compost bin at a major event, but I liked that. That's very cool. And also, I thought, how good for this guy for holding the hair back. So I guess I'm walking by. My phone was in my hand, boop, video. And I go by, and what I wanted to do, because the girl's legs was kind of spread, and I wanted to end the shot by going down and seeing the word compost, because that would be hilarious. And then I would kind of zoom in, and I would win a Pulitzer Prize. when I get down to the final shots, it turns out her legs were too close together, and I'm just now filming her ass.
And you're calling out, spread your legs.
Spread them! Show me the compo sign. So now I'm just creepy McTavish. I'm 49 years old. I'm 41.
Creepy McTavish.
I'm double her age, their age. And the hilarious thing is, when I watch the video, and it's so good, is that each time she vomits, she hurls twice in this 6-second span, she does a little twerky booty shake. And it's really funny. So I put it online and on Instagram. I said, a good friend, or a good person holds her friend's hair back when she's puking. A great person makes sure it's in the compost bin. Stagecoach 2015, hashtag booty shake. And it was up for fucking 5 seconds, and I had 8 hate mails. Like, you invasive, creepy asshole. Like, take that down. I was like,
because the end of your shot, you showed it to me.
I'm just right.
You were trying for that compost label, but you successfully just framed her ass.
Should I show it on camera? Should we show this?
Yeah, you should.
You can.
The audience won't see it, though.
No, I'm not going to.
Well, DeMorge, you were going to say something. You kept getting derailed.
I'll show you after the show.
We were talking about the internet's dual capacity for truth bringing, but also then encouraging lies.
I just think that it's going to create other specialties, other jobs, which are the people who vet the people who are telling these stories. So especially in politics, you have people who are running for office who are going to have these anecdotes. I mean, Romney had an anecdote when she talked about a very clear memory of at some sort of convention, being at some sort of convention with his father, and his father's holding him in his arms. And the convention he's talking about, he hadn't been born yet. So all it took was an intern at Maddow to go, hey, we got this thing. And then that was half the episode was that.
Right.
And then just playing that over and over again and then going, let's look at the timeline and doing graphics and other shit.
Well, what is
and so
that?
they're going to need people implanted in, and what you had with Obama was you had people who recognize, okay, here's another channel. We can't get everybody directly, but there's this internet thing, and there's this information that's traveling faster, and there's the way people read information. And
Right.
poll results are coming out because news agencies are not news agencies anymore by the normal sort of accords. Now they just want clicks.
That's why he
so
won.
They're reprint. Yeah, they were just faster. They were faster. They were quicker. They were better.
He's just like
Those
racing
jobs are now
grandpa. It was
specialties.
exactly what JFK beat Nixon. It was just sort of like that new technology and understanding it, and like Nixon. I don't know if it's apocryphal or not, but Nixon refused makeup for the first debate.
It sweated.
His makeup
and
for
looked
girls.
nervous and sweated and looked horrible.
And it's like, yeah,
and
no,
wore a wool suit
you're
on
being
TV
you're
and-
being digitized into a box.
He hadn't
and
changed.
no one's going to know
Kennedy
you're
was
wearing
like,
makeup.
lay it on me. Like, give me all the stage makeup.
Yeah. And so, anyways, and so with Obama, you've got like, okay, so you're good at having even Dan Harmon respect you, like you can't even like he's bulletproof, like from all views, you know. There's no stories, there's a, you know, and then it's like, but then it's like you're president for 8 years, and it's like Guantanamo doesn't close, and the district the fucking attorney general is like waging war on pot dispensaries while the pot is becoming increasingly legal. It's all the same horse shit, political shit. Anything that matters to me, this president is no different from fucking anybody that came before him. He's just another fucking president. My question is, like, are we ever going to get to the point where like something snaps, where we have a choice between having a human being as a civil servant? We go like, well, this guy's walks with a limp and hates Malaysians and smoked pot and had a bad divorce, and like
I would
like,
love to
here's
go back.
here's all his flaws, but blah 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 fucking blah, and you know what? Also, he's not even a big fan of this hot button or that hot button, but civil servant.
I would love to
wants
go back
to
to
save
days
the country.
where the presidency wasn't a celebrity office. It used to be it's kind of a you're a very
But you also
you're a
have to
clerk.
Go back, you have to go back to the days where the opposition, the group in power, the group not in power, actually respected the presidency.
And
there was a point where that turned, where they said, okay, well now we're going to violate even that.
Right. And there was a point when the League of Women Voters, I think this was in the 70s, who used to always moderate all the debates, retired from the process and issued a statement that should be emblazoned on tablets and thrown down upon us as we dance naked around golden calves. But instead, because it wasn't written by God and was written by the League of Women Voters, is forgotten. But they, in a paragraph, fucking just like summed up They said, we are not moderating debates anymore. I'm not quoting them at all. Look it up. Look what they said when they retired from the thing. I will paraphrase them for my own purposes and say they said, we are tired of participating in a bipartisan sham. We are tired of participating in a rehearsed fucking like thing. This is all bullshit. We are not doing this anymore. And then
Dave, can I get a yup? There we are.
Like the Comedy Central roast was taken over by Comedy Central, I assume, because the Friars had a problem with it, for better or for worse. Like the everyone was just like, okay, all right, well, fine, ladies, no more debates hosted by you, anyways. And it's just like there is a big like we're drunk on our own success. When you're an empire, who's going to tell you to change? Why would you ever change? The reason you change is because you're losing. You got to look at the team above you and go like, we're getting our asses kicked. We got to shake things up. But like the people at the top, the empires like always just crumble because they don't fucking figure it out. Like, why can't you just figure it out? Why can't you just look at your own bullshit and go, like, look at this old mailman landing on the lawn in his flying helicopter. Like, it's just like, all he's saying is, why is money involved in government? That doesn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. Like, we're at King's Landing, where money, like, runs everything, but why the fuck are our civil servants? Like why should money affect your election? That's insane. You're controlling the free world. That's like a complete, like, it's if you just think about that with common sense for a second, everything says campaign reform, campaign reform, campaign reform. And everyone in charge of everything that would ever change that is already like lining their pockets so it will never change. So the fucking guy got in a goddamn flying bicycle and he called the government and said, I'm coming in. And he wrote letters saying, I'm coming in. And he mostly thought he'd be shot down because he thought that might happen. And if that happens, maybe that will be a life well spent as an American. And he landed on the fucking Congress's lawn, and because he got through safely, CNN is just going, so how much more money should we spend on missile defense? First the left, then the right. This is the full view. Well, I believe we should spend $50 million on missiles. I mean, that guy could have been loaded with ISIS people. Well, I disagree. I think only 3 ISIS people could be on that copter. So I think we should be $100 million. Well, you've just witnessed the left and the right. Those are your margins. Get back to work, cocksuckers. Sorry if you're a cocksucker. That doesn't.
This segment brought to you by Honda Motors.
How about the idea that this old fucking hippie civil servant who delivers mail to people, which is a government agency which has never taken any of your taxes, that runs on its own money, which is why they sold stamps. They figured out self-sufficiency in an age when the FCC couldn't give up their fucking power enough to go away when Grace would have demanded it. Like, this guy is legacy. He should be a national hero. In Europe, they celebrate the lives of people who tried to blow up the government. They're cool that way. They have maturity on their side. They can handle it. We can't even fucking, like, we fire Bill Maher for calling the terrorists not cowards, and then we yell at him for being an Islamophobe 10 years later. Like, we don't know what we're doing except that we're scared. We're scared to talk wrong, or we're scared to be wrong. This fucking guy is 70 years old and said in his manifesto video, when he was absolutely established that he was perfectly sane. He's fucking Joan of Arc saying, like, I just don't want to have spent my life in this great country watching it fall apart. I just want to do something as I enter the twilight of my life that I think might make a difference. So I am a mailman. So I'm making this mail vehicle. And I'm writing a letter to each senator.
To anybody that in their spare time makes a goddamn helicopter plane thing. That's pretty cool.
And we can't handle the fact that we should have been better able to shoot him down. First of all, who gives a fuck if the goddamn House of Congress is defended? Fuck you. It's not an important building. It's a bunch of fucking idiots. They don't fucking care. Defend the fucking coastline. Defend the fucking, like, people.
If you want to kill senators, they're never there. That's the worst place to bomb.
Yeah, fucking blow up a bathhouse down the street. Like, what the fuck are these people?
Blow up a TGI
they grow on
Fridays,
trees. They're people that want to be powerful and work for no money. Oh, where will we find another one of those? The government's not going to fucking fail if you blow up that... okay, all right. No,
you did.
All right, sorry.
Okay.
Edit that.
Let's play... I should say, why don't we harness our blowing up things into some Shadowrun? Scooter, will you play with us?
Yeah, absolutely.
Scooter, is he going to be Mercy or the Doctor? What would you like to be?
Yeah, well, yeah, your choice, Scooter.
The Doctor is
Curtis.
Spelled with a K.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
Good. Yeah, I'll do the Doctor. I was trying to just run through what they've done in the past. I'll do the Doctor.
All right. So do we be cis normative and bring up a girl to play Mercy, or do we? We haven't had any women up here, so right.
Adam, no, you had your moment, Adam.
Wait,
fucking Dave Klein up here and just fucking do this.
Wait, really?
Nah.
No. Dave Klein had his spotlight. I saw a timid hand here, and oh, you're Jen. You're up before. Well, okay. Let's get some new blood.
Right here. What's your name?
Equally timid hand. I'm Elisa. Elisa. Oh, like the name would. That's the audition. Do you want to come up? Okay. All right.
Elisa, everybody, welcome her to the stage.
I guess if you said I am Hitler, that would be a name. It would be like Hitler.
All right, Dan, do you want to pass down the character sheets, please?
Sure. Alyssa, what's your backstory?
Well, I'm
You can figure this out, right? It's a pile of folders.
Unfortunately, my background isn't as cool as everyone else's, But
whose background tonight has been cool?
Dave fucking Klein.
Dave. I can't even compare to that. I was born and raised in the Valley, so.
Well, but okay. So are you a regular here? Or is this your first show?
Oh no, I've been here a couple times actually. I sit in the corner.
Do you listen all the time?
You mean online? Because I'm kind of cheap. I don't.
You're from the Valley? What city?
North Hills.
Yeah. What high school did you go to?
James Monroe High School.
James Monroe.
Monroach, yeah.
Monroach?
Yeah.
Was it skeevy?
Yeah,
really?
It was pretty nasty.
Really? Monroe hit women.
Was that LA Unified or was that a different thing? That's Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So anybody from the LA area knows of LAUSD. It's kind of like.
I don't know. I don't know anything about that. Kids come up, they talk about their school, and they go like, "I'm from and I go like, "Oh, cool."
Most people who've actually lived in the Valley have never heard of Monroe. They know of the other schools around there, but never Monroe. Because we're a failure school.
You're a college student. What's your ambition? What's your interest?
Am I a college student? No,
I'm
not.
Are you in high school?
No. I dropped out of college twice.
Wait, I got confused. Because he asked you what school you went to.
Yeah, it's school, high school.
Do you have a light that you're headed towards?
I hope not.
Is she dying?
That would be terrible, I think. I'm kind of young.
An ambition, a fantasy, a job.
Well, I do have a job in working at Universal Studios Hollywood for the past 4 years as a ride operator.
A ride operator?
Yeah.
Which ride?
I used to work there. Where were you working?
I used to work at Jurassic Park River Adventure, Despicable Me Minion Mayhem, The Mummy Ride, and Super Silly Fun Night.
Oh, yeah. I spent the summer dressed up as Harry from Harry and the Hendersons in a Sasquatch suit. Fucking I
want to ask you
shittiest job
about the Jurassic Park ride, but I think you'll get fired because it'll come back to you. It was before. It's
the best place to work at.
There's an urban myth about the ride, about the T-Rex malfunctioning and spraying searing hot hydraulic fluid onto the people.
That is actually true, and they don't do that anymore. Now it's just pressurized air.
Oh, now they just roar at you. Now they just roar at you.
Okay, yeah. Now it's okay. Now nothing gets sprayed at you.
Yeah. Chris Pratt came in and trained the T-Rex. It's like. Stay.
Like touched his nose and was just like, "Be still."
When that
now
ride
it doesn't really move anymore.
I was working at Universal when that ride first opened, the Jurassic Park ride. I think just after it opened, and they wanted to put walk-around characters in there, and so they wanted like for the Back to the Future, they had like a Doc Brown, and he would run around and just stuff. And I was part
of the
He's actually
still there.
Might be the same guy.
No, he's the actual original guy died like a couple years ago. Yeah.
I'm almost certain I shared a break room with him.
He was a sweetheart though.
But I went and auditioned. They thought about having who's the doctor, the Attenborough from
Hammond.
Dr. Hammond.
Hammond. Hammond.
John Hammond.
Yeah.
Him and a Malcolm, a Goldblum character. And I went to the hand prop lot, and I got a leather jacket, and I rehearsed and learned a Jeff Goldblum impression, and went to the hand prop lot, which is this enormous building down in the back lot. Yeah. And I walked in and I said, "Do you have Jeff Goldblum's glasses from Jurassic Park?" And they go, "Yeah, we have the clear ones and the sunglasses." I go, "Okay, where are they?" I just walked in. No one knew who I was. And he goes, "It's right here." He opened the case. He walked away. I just went, boink, and took him. So on my table, I still have the actual glasses that Goldblum wore. Because I'm a bad person.
That is the, I talked about women's rights at one point, and you guys were pretty docile.
But stealing, no.
Yeah, I keep them up on my desk. I look at them once in a while and I go, those are fucking Dr. Malcolm's glasses, man.
You guys.
Oh, they had his prescriptions in there, so I had them popped out, took them to a lens place, and had him put just regular sunglasses in.
God damn it! I don't want to derail.
What's now?
No, okay, we should start. But the fucking Jurassic World trailer came out, and yeah, it's like I don't know. It's like I don't know. There's so many. Sort of like informed nerds kind of hating on it. It's like oh, it's going to be bad, but I don't really see any evidence. I mean, what the fuck do you want from a?
I wanted that
Jurassic
girl
World
not to
is a
have a
fucking
history
park.
with the guy.
You wanted what?
The girl, she had a history with Chris Pratt that they revealed. That's dumb. That's too Doc Connecty to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's in the trailer. What is she?
It was in the thing I saw. I don't
they
know.
released like an extra, like a 2-minute scene. With
Oh, was that
Chris
not the
Pratt.
trailer? That makes
okay.
more sense if it's not a trailer.
It's briefly in the trailer.
Well, Sam Neill
Really
has a backstory with his
slow-paced.
hatred of children. I mean, I don't know. Jurassic Park was a pretty satisfying popcorn movie, and like in the Michael Crichton tradition of theme parks that seem like great ideas that then go wrong, and what that brings out of people. Like we've had a couple of Jurassic Park sequels that are kind of like off the mark, given that's what really hits the spot. Is like, hey, it's a park, and then the dinosaurs, and then it goes wrong. And it's like the first movie is like the park's not open yet. Now the fucking park's open. Seems like a good sequel. Like
I love the premise. I really do. But
I don't like him like being a raptor whisperer. I think that's I don't think you need that.
Well,
but
I like the idea of like the park is open. There's a couple thousand visitors, and now
Disaster.
bad things happen again.
Yeah.
It's kind of a nice like parallel to the first one, and then but
Yeah.
at a bigger scale. Which is what sequels are
I mean, it's a
supposed to be.
disaster movie. Just make it. It's like
If
Irwin Allen. It's just Blazing Inferno.
If they made a
Towering
bigger,
Inferno.
crazier SeaWorld Jurassic Park, I'd be totally fine with that.
There was a whole it was decades where it was like we just like to go to movies and watch like man's ambition just go to shit. It's like it's just fun. And there's a couple characters in there that get out. There's you introduce each character. Like I'm the son of an opera singer, and it's like you get really specific. You find these characters, and then it's like you kind of get to pick your own favorite. You're like I hope that guy dies, and they get picked off one by one, and then one guy walks away from the whole fucking thing falling apart and goes like, the park is closed. All right.
I think that's the movie.
Spencer, catch us and Scooter up on the events of last time.
I'm sorry. One more thing.
Frank Sinatra.
This is for Los Angeles people. If anyone that's been to Universal City Walk, do you get high off the shot of the pterodactyls plucking people off and it's like because it just looks like the City Walk, and it just like I've been on that City Walk, and I just want like flying lizards to come and just grab random people. All right.
Spencer, you good to go?
Yeah, I just want to say that when Dan was telling his story about that male guy, I thought it was a metaphor for like 2/3 of the story.
No, it really happened.
Yeah, like
there was a guy who
the president is like a mailman with a flying bicycle.
And I want to know what's going on with that guy.
See, I would vote for that guy.
Is that guy in Guantanamo now? Like what? Is he going to die mysteriously when we're not paying
attention? He's duct taped to a folding chair somewhere.
We should have him on the show.
Oh
yeah.
And we should get him some D&D books if he's in prison. Don't let me forget about that.
Spencer, do we have a guest encapsulator?
Yeah, his name was Stephen Bissett.
And also AIDS.
AIDS also wrote this intro.
Stephen Bissett, you said?
I think, yeah.
Any relation to Angela?
I hope not.
All right. Here we go. Damn it.
That would be so good.
Okay, it's coming up. You're going to do it to that music.
Oh, am I?
You want to?
I don't care.
And I don't want to distract everybody, but Spencer told me this is the music he fucks to. So just try to listen to the recap, but then don't picture that.
Yeah. Last time on Harmontown. After a disjointed but surprisingly effective capture of crime syndicate member Arturo Spaguli, our heroes took turns asking intimidating questions that left the man confused. Nightblade cut through the confusion, and with wide eyes and a lacerated hand, Arturo pointed them back to the burger tyrant. At the restaurant, Eve started things off using her stun gloves on the nearby guard, kicking him into fry cooks. Dr. Friend used a magical barrier to trap the enemies, while Nightblade found Jelly Dervish locked in a freezer. Sorry, I'm truncating this a little. This long. Child in tow, the group quickly left the shot-up burger tyrant with a Doritos-eating Hordeguard, driving them away to a distinct dark area somewhere in Seattle. But what will they do when they get there? Did Eve ruin the song Butterfly Kisses for everyone? Let's find out now.
All right, thank you.
Now.
So the whole squad right now, we're all in the van. We got Jelly Dervish, who's a 10-year-old kid, right? 8? What was he?
Sure. I don't know.
He's a youngster.
Yeah.
And he's in the van with us.
And you also got Arturo Spaguli in the van.
And he's tied up, right?
Yep.
And, okay, so are we at the dark area?
You're in a dark area.
What?
We got Jelly Dervish. We got to bring him back to our Johnson, right? Don't we have to bring him back to our Mr. Johnson?
Yeah, who was that, by the way? That's Arturo talking.
Cool Dave was retired for a while, right?
What?
Wait, who's asking? Who's our...
Oh, just me. Arturo.
Oh, no, don't ask about our Johnson.
Oh.
Rude.
Just trying to make
Spencer, what was the name of our Johnson?
What was his name? Ryan Dervish.
Ryan Dervish. Hey, Jelly, we want to bring you back to your dad so we can get paid. You okay with that?
Oh, interesting. His dad, you say?
Who's this talking?
Arturo.
Okay. All right, you've got the floor.
Oh, I'm just listening to your guys' conversation. Don't mind.
Seems like you're doing more than that. Seems like a very assertive form of listening. Listening usually takes the form of...
You don't get to be a mafia man by listening unassertively.
So wait, you're saying you didn't know that this kid was Ryan Dervish's son?
No, I just didn't know he hired you guys to, steal him from us.
You sound so titillated by that. You're talking like a guy that wants to get whacked.
I'm talking about a guy who knows who to whack next.
Might I suppose that one of us stays with Spaguli, and also that the rest of us get out of the car and come to some sort of plane?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Is it okay? For the group. So this is what happens. We all get out of the van, except for who's staying. Which one of you?
He's tied up. We can just leave him there.
I'm good.
Someone should stay with him.
Just in case.
I'll stay with Arturo.
No. This is good.
Yeah, I feel like you
good.
guys. There might be a little one-on-one scene coming up with you and Arturo Spaguli.
This was sort of Hotegod's plan for entertainment purposes.
I see.
On the comlink, is it possible I might call this dervish and find out where he is?
Yeah.
This is what I do.
Bleep, bloop, bleep. Hey, how's it going?
Well, we have your target.
That's fantastic.
Can you give us some sort of location or give me a fix on where you are?
Why don't you meet me at Hank's last stand where we first met?
Will you tell those people there to stand the fuck down and leave me alone?
Hey, Hordegaard, are you on the
different
phone?
place.
I'm on the comm link. Are you on the comm with Ryan Dervish right now?
This is exactly what I am.
Yeah. I think do we want to let him know that we just told Spaguli that he hired us? That might be sensitive information.
For the record, I have shut down my comlink on mute for a brief moment.
I feel like that might be something he wouldn't want us to have said. Like that was supposed to be more of a black op.
Yeah, I think we kind of took the shadow out of the shadow run and made it more of a bright day marathon.
More of a Honolulu marathon.
Time jog.
Maybe we could tell him when we get to the place. And
Where'd
just be
you
like,
go?
drop him off and then just like book it.
Probably after the payment.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. we might have,
He'll probably want to know that.
Well, look, that's why I'll stay with Arturo. I mean, one good threat to repercuss deserves another.
You can punch that up later while we go drop the kid off.
I'm not a writer. I'm a bounty hunter.
All right, so I call an Uber to get us and the kid to take us to go drop off.
I hate that they out-survived Lyft.
I know they were better, right?
It's like, do the robots also harass women? I'm a feminist.
I have Jeff.
And I stole Jeff Goldblum's glasses.
No, you didn't, you fucking liar.
I fear for our youth.
All right, so I call up an Uber.
You have the Uber.
Okay, so how far away is Ryan Dervish from us?
Oh, not far. With Arturo Spaguli in tow, you arrive at Hank's Last Stand, your home base sort of thing.
Right.
It's the old rotten bar. You walk in and you see there's a guy here. It's normally pretty empty, this place, but this guy, he's wearing a fabulous blue and magenta suit with a face mask, and he's got a bow slung over his shoulder. He's just enjoying a glass of water.
Can I use my sense of perception to see what sort of dangers might exist?
He has the danger of potentially shooting you with one of his arrows in his bow. Other than that, you can't really perceive any dangers.
Now, Mercy, you're a face woman. You want to go up there and do the how do you do's?
Yeah, I've got was it +2 for impressions? Yes, I do. All right, so I want to walk over to this really bright dude. Hi, what you doing here? I've
I'm
never seen
just
you
having
before.
a drink.
Oh, this is
Alone.
I've never seen you around here before.
That's not surprising.
What brings you around here in this neck of the woods? It's kind of dark and skeevy around here, and you seem like a bright color fellow.
Just to meet a friend.
I look around to see if Ryan Dervish is in the room.
Ryan Dervish is he's talking to Teddy over in the corner.
Okay, I guess we should. We'll keep.
I'm not here, right?
We'll keep an eye on that guy, but let's go over and drop off the football over to Ryan Dervish.
I'll stay with the colorful fellow just in case.
I take. Well, you're our negotiator, so maybe she should take her over to the to Ryan Dervish, right? Or take Jelly over.
Whatever you guys want, man.
It'd be kind of weird if I walked away from this guy.
I think it was kind of going weird.
Yeah,
I think it might be weird. It's weird if you stay there, I think.
I'll just say I'll see him later, and I walk away.
say you have to take a shit.
I
have to go potty. I'll see you later.
Oh, nice.
I haven't made
down to the potty.
I haven't made contact with him yet, so I can stand casually by.
Yeah.
And if I see him do anything funny with the bow, I can throw up a physical barrier.
That's nice.
Nice, Doc. Nice, Doc. So Doc and I will hang back and keep an eye on Fancy Suit Bow Guy while Mercy goes over and drops off Ryan. And Mercy, don't forget to get that extra money.
All right, so we got the kid. Walk over to Teddy and the dude.
Oh, you brought up my son a jelly. Thank you so much. I am overcome with emotion.
I'm so glad to hear that. Where's our payment?
Was there any mishaps or maybe speed bumps along the way?
I will have to say, no, it's all good. We did everything the way you wanted it to be, very low key.
It sounds like it. I like that. Here is your monies.
It was kind of a long journey, and we had our expenses, food and water and all that. Out of curiosity,
it took you a couple hours. I'm really impressed. You spent that much on food and expenses.
We had to buy a lot of. We bought a lot of hamburgers, I think, didn't we?
Yeah. It takes a lot to keep up these appearances. We gotta look like we're doing something not skeevy.
Well, I gotta say, when you first took this job, I told you I was very poor. I did not have a lot of money, and we agreed upon a price based on that basis, you see.
That is very true, but we went through a lot just to get your precious, adoring son, who was wonderful the entire way, by the way.
And as we agreed, I will pay extra. He takes off his shoe and gives it to you.
Oh, he gave us a shoe. How much money did we get?
500 apiece, I think.
And a shoe.
Two shoes now.
2 shoes. No, we got both shoes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It's a full pair.
Well, I'm still with Arturo Spiculi.
Yeah.
And where am I?
I thought
in the van.
I think
right?
you were both in. You were all in the Uber, and you're just in the Uber outside.
So
of
I'm just
the
with him in
bar.
the Uber.
Yeah.
And I say, okay. So I go. So, you know about that active listening thing you learned in the mafia?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I learned it too. So like, I couldn't help but hear that you think that you might whack somebody based on something you heard.
I might.
Right. So puts you in a weird position now, right?
I don't. What do you mean?
Well, like, I know that you're going to make me look like a bad employee if I don't kill you. So, like, conflict, me, in a world where life means nothing.
Well, what is it worth it to you? You already got paid, right?
Well, what does a bullet cost?
Jesus Christ.
Unlike you, my job's based on a reputation. Being a classy guy, you know, people need to be able to trust me. Apparently, you just leave a trail of slime wherever you go. You know, you'll fuck over anybody.
Hodegaard has simultaneously on Comlink called up another Uber, and then also lifted his rifle just in case.
Another Rupert?
Rifle.
Uber.
Okay, sorry.
Why don't we just
Sounds
boil it
good.
down to this? I mean, I feel like in a world of muck where my job is to rake through shit and make money doing it, I had this one job where I rescue a kid and bring him back to his dad, and you're attempting to make that job dirty, and all I got to do to clean it up is shoot one piece of shit.
And, you know, destroy a lot of security footage.
Sorry, what?
I'm just saying. Faces all over the place in that Burger Tyrant.
So you're saying you're not the only link between this rescue mission and Jelly's father?
No, I'm not. There's all sorts of technology that protects us.
So in other words, if I were to take an active interest in the long, happy life of Jelly and his father, I would have to be very vigilant.
Yeah, I'd say that.
So I would do that either by having security cameras of my own, and constantly spending a lot of money on that, or as one man who is able to get you in the back of a car, I could just say to you, say to your friends, if anything ever happens, it would be bad for everybody all the time. They would never know when. They'd be taking a bath. I'd be the rubber ducky. They would be eating burgers in a restaurant. I'd be the mayonnaise. My name is Jim Nightblade.
Do one more scenario, or maybe do like 3 or 4 more of those.
They'd be at the movies, and a guy'd be going, "Yup," and they'd go, "Who's that?" And it'd be me, and my popcorn would be a gun. I'm just saying, like, I keep a backlog. Like, I'm not like you. I don't spin a web and like draw the joy from other people. No. I'm on the run, and I go from job to job. And when I do a job for somebody, and the job is to keep their son alive, I check back. If I check back, I hold you accountable. You're like my employee now, and my payment is your life. You deal with the security cameras. You deal with all that. Because if anything ever happens, like, it's you that gets fired first. Air quotes around fired. Fired from God's universe. With difficult arbitration. It won't be like you're walking down the sidewalk and you have a phenomenon stroke. It'll just be like, I'll take you into a warehouse and I'll take shit out on you. I'll use you as an excuse to vent things that all men have inside them. You know what they do in prison, right? Like they look at child rapists and they go like, "Oh, finally a reason to be who we are." This world's a prison. You're a pedophile.
Cliffhanger.
That's not a cliffhanger.
It's a cliffhanger.
All right. Well, it's a reason to tune in next week. Thanks, Scooter.
Scooter, everybody, please.
The man of the hour, Scooter.
Alyssa.
SCUTA. SKUTA.
DeMorge Brown,
Alyssa.
everybody.
Chris and Dustin and
let's thank Dave motherfucking Klein for coming up, shall we?
Dave Klein. Thank you, Alyssa.
Adam Goldberg, Superman Eric.
Thank you.
Spencer Crittenden, I'm Jeff Davis. Your mayor, one more time, is Mr. Dan Harmon. Thank you so much for coming. We worship and adore you.
Did you get any of that?
It's a good show.